Jacob had been working for his father-in-law, Laban, for many years. One day, he heard Laban's sons talking. They said that Jacob had taken all their father's wealth and honor. Jacob just didn't know what to do. He also noticed that Laban was not as friendly towards him as before. One night, the Lord spoke to Jacob in a dream. God wanted Jacob to know that he had seen that Laban was trying to cheat him. God told Jacob that it was time for him to go home to his people and that he would be with him. So Jacob called a meeting with Rachel and Leah. He told them all about how their father and brothers had been treating him. "Your father has been unfair and changed my wages 10 times. But God has kept him from harming me. Instead, God has blessed me. You see, your father was paying me by letting me keep some newborn lambs. First, he said I could keep the speckled lambs. So God made all the lambs to be born speckled. Then the next year, Laban changed his mind and said I could have the spotted ones. Then he said I could have the striped ones. On and on, your father kept changing his mind. However, God was always on my side. Whatever newborn lambs Laban said I could have, that's what God caused to be born. So God took away Laban's flocks and gave them to me. And now God is telling us it's time to go." Then Rachel and Leah said, "Whatever God has said for you to do, we will do it. There's nothing left for us here. Our father doesn't even treat us like daughters anymore." So Jacob gathered his family and they packed up everything they owned. Together with their servants, flocks, and herds, they headed back to his people. But while they were packing, Rachel secretly stole her father's idols and hid them among her belongings. While Laban was away, Jacob and his family fled. On the 3rd day, Laban found out that they were gone. He took some men from the family and went after Jacob. "Hut, hut, hut!" When Laban found Jacob, he said, "Why did you go without saying goodbye? I didn't get to kiss my daughters or my grandchildren. I could have had a big party for you. You know, I could harm you, but in a dream, your God told me to leave you alone." Jacob replied, "I was afraid that you would take Rachel and Leah away from me, so we left quickly." Then Laban asked, "But why did you steal my idols?" Now remember, Jacob didn't know that Rachel had stolen her father's idols. So he told Laban to check everywhere. "If you find anything that's yours, take it. And whoever stole your idols, they will die." Rachel had hidden her father's idols in her camel's saddle and was sitting on them. When the men came to search her tent, she said she could not get up because she was unwell. Oh. So Laban didn't search where she was sitting. He looked and looked everywhere else, but couldn't find the idols. When the search was over, Jacob was very angry and said to Laban, "What have you done? And what have I done wrong? Why have you come after me like this? I have worked for you 20 years. I know if God was not on my side, you would have sent me away with nothing." Laban told Jacob, Listen, these are my daughters and my grandchildren, and they were my flocks. Let's make an agreement between us before God, not to harm each other." So Jacob agreed and built a memorial. He set up a large stone as a pillar. Then he told Laban's companions to do the same. When they finished bringing stones, the heap was so big that they ate a meal together on top of it. That's how they celebrated their agreement. After the meal, Jacob and Laban made a promise before God. They agreed to never travel beyond their memorial to harm each other. After this, Jacob offered a sacrifice to the Lord. Early the next morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and said goodbye and blessed them.